Hello and welcome to another Cables tutorial. On Cables, my name is Pando, and today I want to show you how to create your own keyframed animation with the new timeline. So I prepared a really simple patch here, and I want to animate the Cables logo to move around on the screen. And I don't want to use a timer or a sign animation or something like this. I want to create manual keyframes. So how do I do that? So first of all, we are talking about the transform X and Y positions. So I go here into the parameter panel and select animate parameter with this little 3-dot menu. Animate parameter. And then you will see we have a little dot here in the port. This means that this port is animated. And when you see the parameter panel, you see this little rhombus here, and you see this icon, the timeline icon here, also down here. So I can click this timeline icon, and then it will open the timeline. And this is how it looks. So by default, we have a key at 0 frames or 0 seconds. And that's when you activate an animation for a port, it will create one simple key. So now let's create another key. So I can drag around in this line here, in the time ruler bar, and I can scrub the playhead. So this is our cursor or playhead, and I can just scrub it and move it around. So I can just move it here to 1 second or 30 frames and just move and just change the parameter here. So when I do that, you already see there's a curve here. So this is because I'm in the curve layout. So you can, or in the graph view, you can change this with those buttons here. So when I click this, this is the default view where we only see the keyframe. So when I move the cursor again somewhere else and then drag the value, you will see it created another key. And I can switch between this view, and then I see the curve of those keys. And this is the most simple way to create keys in Cables. So I can rewind this and press play. You can press space. You can press control space to automatically play and start from 0. Otherwise, space is play and pause, and control space is from the beginning. And now you see like the logo is moving to the right. So this is because I animated pause X. So now let's create another animation. So I will create an animation for the Y position. So I will click animate parameter on the Y position. So it created a key now here where our cursor is. And I can just move it around, move to 0, and then change the parameter here. And now our curve is moved out of the screen. So we are not seeing this other keyframe. To show it again on the screen, you can always press F, and then the timeline will zoom all keys. If you have none selected, it will zoom to all keys. You can also use this little button here. Or if I select some, then it will zoom in and zoom into those keys only. And when I deselect and press F again, it will zoom out to the whole screen. Okay. So I will just create some random keys. And so when I select those keys and press F, it will zoom into those keys, and when I unselect, it will zoom into all keys. Yeah, so this is our little animation here now. And you see in the overview line, you see 2 keys here, and you see more keys here. So when I drag this around, you will see the overview line just scales. So our duration of our animation just grew now, and I will see this is just an overview where we see some of our keys and where they are on the timeline in the overall duration. So when I zoom in, you will see this gray bar is getting smaller, and now we only see this little part of our animation. So I can drag this around, and then I will see this is our last frame here, and those are our 2 frames. So, and when I zoom out, you will see the bar grows. So if it's fully gray, then you see the whole animation that we have. And if it's a small part, then we only see a part of our animation. So this is really handy to know where you are in your animation if it's really long, and where the keys are. So it's really helpful to know, there's another key on the right or something. Yeah, so now our logo animates on both axes. So now sometimes it's a bit hard to, in the graph view, to know which graph or which curve belongs to which port. So you can hover those, and then you see which port it belongs to. And you also see this in the parameter panel and also on the patch view. And the hover works the same everywhere. But sometimes this is still not enough, because now you work on the details in here, and then which curve is this? And you can also see, like, when I select something, which port it belongs to. That's also really helpful. But you can also go here and click this little pen icon, this little edit icon. And now I disabled editing for this port. So now if I press Command A or Control A, I will select all the ports, but only the ones that are editable. So this is not editable now. So this really helps you to edit only one curve, but still see the other one, and then you have the relation or the timing when the other keys are happening. So that's really helpful. And the other button you see here is the mute button. So when I click this, I muted the X position animation. So now you see the logo is only animating on the Y-axis and not on the X-axis again. And when I switch this, then you see only the Y animation, and the X animation will just stay at that value that it had before. So that's also really handy to just see, like, where something comes from. If it's not so easy, that's X and Y is really easy to identify, but sometimes you don't know, is it Z or is it Y or some other parameter, and you can just disable them and see if that helps you to find out which animation you are thinking about. And in the graph view, you also have those buttons. So you can also mute the animation. Yeah, so that's about the keys in Cables. Another helpful thing is this automatic key generation. So if I disable this, it will not create new keys by default, but you see I will change the position of the logo, but this is only temporary. So you see this would be the new Y position or the new value position of the curve, but when I move the cursor again, it will be gone. So when you disable automatic keys, you will not create keys on by accident. So now when I see, okay, this is the value I want to have, I can press this little button here, and then it will create a key at this position. So now I added the key, and now you can play around and decide when you want to add a key, which is helpful in some situations, or some people like this workflow better. So you can use that to not accidentally create many keys or out of scope. If you have this problem, then you can use this mode. Then let's talk about the curves themselves. So they are really okay, this needs to be fixed, that this disappears automatically. So they are now really pointy, right? So right now we have only straight lines. They just go like on the fastest connection between 2 points. So they are really straight, and you also see this in the animation. It's not really smooth. It's just like really hard edges and not smooth at all. So we can change this by choosing another interpolation method. So let's disable this one. So now I just select all keys, and now you see on the right panel here we have like an information panel about the selected keys. So we have 5 keys selected. Like the animation of those 5 keys is 56 frames long, and so on and so on. You get some information, and then you get this little bar here, and this is for the interpolation method. So on default, it's linear interpolation. That's what we see. This is the straight lines. When I change this to absolute or step interpolation, you see it's like stairs. The values are really like they are even more straight. But now the value in between is not really interpolated. It's just staying the same until there's a new corner, and then it will stay on this value again. So this is interesting. This is helpful for some things. For example, if you want to switch between different scenes, you don't want to interpolate the value, you just want to show scene 5, and then you want to show scene 9, but you don't want all the scenes in between. You just want this one scene. So for this, you can use the absolute interpolation mode. So, and now we come to the round stuff. So I will press Command A again, and then press this one, and this will show me predefined curves that we have in Cables. So you can just click around, and then you will see some different curves, and maybe for many things they are already fine, and you can just choose one of those curves. But if you want to have full control, then you can click the next interpolation mode, and that's Bezier curve. So now you see the timeline added some control points and some lines here. So for example, let's choose this one. I can just click this point and drag it around, and then we can exactly change our animation, the curve of our animation, and change the speed and the length and the pointiness and all this kind of stuff you can change with those Bezier control points. You can also toggle free tangents, and then you can even control them more by just changing one of those control points, which is really handy. And yeah, that's the Bezier curve. So the next one is clips, that we will go into detail in the third part of this tutorial. But first, so when I'm tweaking my animation, you find yourself often to like play this one part all the time and see until it fits really, like you tweak the animation until it fits really well, right? And that's really annoying when you have to scrub the timeline all the time. So for this, in Cables, we have the loop area or loop mode. So that's this little icon here with the two arrows. So when I click this, you will see there's a red area here. So I can just drag this right corner of the area and make it bigger or smaller. And if you drag the middle part, I can move it around. I can also, so when I click this icon again, it's now an X, then it will be removed. I can also select a few keys and then click loop area boundings, and then it will create a loop area between those three keys. So, and now I can just let it loop and continue editing my curve and look at the outcome and fine tune it until I'm really happy, and then I can remove this loop area again. This is just for editing, and yeah, you can resize it while editing. And then you can work on this really little small part of your animation while seeing the results. And yeah, so this is the basic overview of the timeline, of key creation of the timeline. There's even more stuff, and we will talk about this in the third part of the tutorial. Thank you very much.